Very scary and potentially alarming metrics coming out of the Las Vegas real estate market. We need to talk about the Sluice report, which is something I barely look at, but actually may be one of the most financially important monthly reports going forward. And finally, why hasn't the economy crashed when interest rates have gone up 525 basis points? I have the answer for you today. Folks, yesterday I put out two very important videos. One of them went out with Brian Lebo from the Lebo Group, my real estate agent in Las Vegas. Amazing contributor to this channel, has great monthly data on his channel. He was lucky enough to come yesterday and frankly give us some alarming metrics. Go ahead and watch that video from yesterday with Brian Lebo, but here are three highlights. One, July transactions appear to be down 40% from last year. Perhaps even more alarming is that July was a very, very slow month. Again, you could hear Brian talk about them being crickets. So if July is a slow month, meaning stuff's not going pending or what they would call in escrow, could we have some very rough August and September numbers? Now, we should at least acknowledge that Las Vegas had a very hot July, meaning temperature hot. There was some perhaps hopeful, maybe wishful thinking that it would rebound in August or September. But I have to ask you, and we'll be asking my other real estate agents like Beth Traverso today, did she notice a drop off in July? Because again, if we have less escrows opening in July, that will be existing home sales in August, September. So these are some things to watch. And again, remember, my thesis is we will repeat what we did last year. For those that don't remember, as we got past July, real estate really started to slow down. We have some early metrics from Brian that again, transactions were down 40%. He says he's going to post his full in-depth video in the next 3 days, which I will be looking for, as I'm sure many of you. But then lastly, this is important. This is the opportunities that I seek and look for. This is one example of what undoubtedly will be thousands of other examples for one rental at a time, folks, that do the work every day. So again, these numbers are big, but I want you to hear the story. So in Las Vegas, Nevada, there is a master plan community where homes go for $1.8–2 million. It's called Anthem. In Anthem, there was a particular seller who had listed a property at 1.8. It had some cosmetic things wrong with the property, but it wasn't getting viewings and showings and certainly was not getting offers. This particular seller wanted out. They were tired. They wanted to move to Florida or somewhere else to be close to family. This particular property ultimately sells for $1.1 million. 1.1. Again, his agent said, don't take the offer. I'm sure we could get more. But this seller was out. Remember, folks, as the market slows down, I keep imploring you, reminding you, pushing you, the motivated sellers will start to stand out. Write your offers. Follow up, follow up, follow up. So again, listen to that video. It came out yesterday. Las Vegas is important, in my opinion, as I've shared with Brian Lebo many times, because what happens there happens first. If it's truly slowing down and we're down 40%, Vegas will happen first. So again, a very important video. You should check it out. And then just so you know, we have this video this discussion coming up on August 13th, where 500 of you have registered. Ty and I went through a brainstorming session yesterday. It came out at 5 o'clock. I'm showing you how we make the sausage. So I gave you the initial presentation, what I'm thinking, where we're going. So if you want to see what that event's going to be all about, there's a a rough draft of some things coming you can check out from yesterday. So again, we got to watch Vegas. Transactions down 40 to 60%. Brian thinks it's going to be somewhere in that range. So pretty interesting. How about the SLOOS report? As I've admitted a few times, the SLOOS report is something that in the last 20 some odd years I have barely looked at. I think it might be the most important economic report other than the weekly unemployment claims for the next several months. So what is it? Stands for Senior Loan Officer Opinion Survey. Lending. What is going on with lending? So again, tighter credit, less demand, tighter lending conditions, and likely to get tighter. This should not be a surprise to you. I shared with you during a keynote presentation 6 months ago that I expected lending to go from a 4 to a 9 on a scale of 10. We are just getting validation from lending. Banks expect to tighten conditions across all loan types. Folks, they are going to crank the screws. And why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? They need cash. Again, there are many banks that are technically insolvent if they were forced to mark to market. So they are doing whatever they can to raise cash balances. One is they're offering higher rates on savings and checkings and all of that. But two, they're not lending. They're not lending. This is important. This will impact the economy. We will talk about why it hasn't impacted the economy yet. I found a number that finally feels good to me there. We'll talk about it in a minute. Actually, we'll go there right now. So why hasn't the U.S. economy crashed? Remember when there were folks like Meet Kevin saying, hey, every 1% rise in the federal funds rate, housing would crash 10%? Do you remember that? Well, that was always wrong, and I tried to help you understand that. If it was right, housing would be down 50%. It's not even down 5%. What higher rates do is it hits transactions, just like the 1980s. But why hasn't higher rates, 525 basis points, the fastest rate increase by percentage ever, crushed our economy? Here is the answer. I want to get these numbers right. The reason 525 basis points hasn't crushed our economy yet is the American consumer, frankly, doesn't have a lot of variable rate debt. If you look at the complete debt picture of the American borrower, only 11.1% of the total debt is variable or adjustable. Think about that. Only 11%, 11.1. So 88.9% of all debt is fixed, likely at lifetime or near lifetime low. So if your wages are going up and your debts are fixed, you're winning. That is how you get higher discretionary income. And just for comparison, because again, 11.1% probably means nothing to you unless you can compare it to another time period. I have two for you. 1997. 1997, 27% of the American household debt was variable. How about 2000? In 2000, 25% of the American household debt was variable. Again, today, only 11.1%. So a lot of these people being doomers and crash bros and all of these folks, they are, what's a nice way to say it? Intellectually dishonest. They don't understand that 88.9% of our debt is fixed. It does. The Federal Reserve could take rates to 10%. 88.9% of our debt is fixed. It doesn't matter. It hurts new loans. Hence, our correct call on this channel of a 40% crash in transactions. It is that simple. It doesn't affect old loans, it affects new loans. And this, frankly, is why the UK and Canada, New Zealand, Australia are feeling pain. because a larger percent of their debt, i.e. mortgage debt, is variable. I have been asked repeatedly, what would happen if 50% of the U.S. households had variable mortgages? We would have a problem. But we don't have that. In fact, all of our debt is not, or is majority fixed, which is a good thing for the U.S. economy. I have a question. I put this on Twitter. I thought I would ask the audience. So undoubtedly, doomers and crash bros have caused some people to do nothing, to be frozen. It has caused some of you to delay purchases, investing. So I have a question. If a doomer or a crash bro caused you to not do the work, to stay in place, to miss out on lifetime low interest rates, who do you blame? Do you blame the government? Do you blame the crash bros? Do you blame somebody else? Or do you blame yourself? I'm just curious. Who do you blame for not taking action, not doing the work, not finding a good or great deal, not believing in yourself, but believing in a failed mortgage broker or somebody who lives in his mom's basement? I'm just curious. Who do you blame? Another report from Lance Lambert that I thought was amazing and actually a little bit surprising, and I actually think too bullish. And again, it's not Lance's forecast. He just reports what others are doing. But AEI Housing Center. AEI Housing Center thinks that home prices will be up 6% in 2023 and frankly higher in 2024. 7% in 2024. So that means a 200K house in January will be 212 at the end of 23. And what would that be? Roughly 227 at the end of 2024. That is quite an increase. And what they're basically banking that on is active inventory is down 49.7%. So again, it's inventory, interest rate lock-in, all of that. And then the last thing, there are finally some articles trying to estimate what interest rate unlocks supply. We have talked about the interest rate lock-in. We have talked about the Fed not only breaking demand, but supply plenty on this channel. There are more and more people trying to estimate at what rate do people sell? What rate do they say, life is too short, I want to move, I want to upgrade? We know the answer is not 7%. We know that for sure. We also, I believe, know that 6% is not the magic number. There are more and more reports saying that 5% is the magic number. So I have to ask you, if you have a rate below 4% and you had to move, would a mortgage rate of 5% on your next purchase be close enough that you would move? I originally estimated that the answer was 4.5%, but maybe as time goes by and we get into 2026 and 2027, maybe 5% is enough. But again, folks, I always go back to the point of, hey, if we unlock supply at 5%, what happens to demand? I am hearing from more and more mortgage brokers that demand is stacking up. That we are having more and more marginal buyers go, hey, I'm out, but they will undoubtedly come back at 6. And wow, they would really come back at 5. And then folks, at the end of the day, remember, we are doing this event on the 13th. If you really want to be prepared for it and get ready, you got to buy the course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. Understand what a buy box is, network, spreadsheet. These are all things we will be going through. If you buy it today, you get an extra $100 in free goodies. Go buy it today. Lots of you bought it over the last week. Don't forget, you also get access to a free Facebook group. The Facebook group is called One Rental at a Time Works. Go ahead and ask to join. I will validate your purchase because we only let students there. I get 12, 15 asks a day. We only let students in. And you can start networking with 2,000 other amazing individuals who are doing the work. So if you are more than interested, if you are obsessed, if you want to change your financial future, if you want to take action during what will be the slow period of the year, you need to get ready now. How to get started one rental at a time will never be this cheap at $3.99. It's going to $4.99. I'm also including the $100 in free goodies. I don't know what to tell you. Get it, and if you just want to try something, get the $47 buy box or maybe the 6-hour mastermind. There are plenty of great inexpensive options below $50 that you want to try. Go to onerentalatatime.com, and if you want to know about all the millionaires on the channel, go to onerentalatatime.com and check out the millionaires, their stories, their book recommendations, all there for you. Have an amazing day. We are 1,129 people away from 50,000. Folks, we might get there in August. Today is August 1st. If we average 37 new subscribers a day, we will break 50,000 by the end of August. I would love to break 50,000 by the end of August. It has been a multi-year journey to get here. We're almost over the hump. If you could like, subscribe, comment, share the daily financial news with your friends, share the Ryan Pineda, share the Sean Cannell interview, whatever you want. We are a different channel here. We want to motivate you. We want to talk about doing the work, all of those things. So please help us get to 50,000, 37 people a day, and we're there. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.